Hey guys, I'm Alex.
I am Pete.
And unfortunately, Justin was eaten by a polar bear.
We don't know what happened to the last girl was going to happen.
All we're saying is we got a phone call from a polar bear.
Yeah.
And it was like going like, ah!
Yeah, it was,
how into relationships?
I was making like weird hand gestures and we were like, polar bear.
And giggling like a schoolgirl. So we assumed he was eaten by a polar bear and never coming back. But we have
He's probably coming back though.
Yeah. We have another viewer mail show for you.
Yeah, viewer mail shows.
Again, thank you guys so much for writing in. We really appreciate it.
We do read everything.
So, Tom says, I was wondering what your opinions are on adverts in comics. I'm thinking maybe he's English. Do you think they ruin the timing of the comic and distract from the story? They do. Or are they a necessary evil? I personally can't stand them. And for Marvel, DC, or any other advert-abusing publisher, only buy single issues if I really can't wait for the trade. Love the show. Keep it up. We love you. You keep it up. What do you think about this?
Well, Tom, I like how you answer your own question.
Ooh, you're mean.
No, I just feel that they are a necessary evil because they make comics happen. You need advertisements to have comics, unfortunately. I do feel that they, like you said, Tom, pull you out of the comic and they suck. But if that keeps the comic hopefully around $3, I'm into it. But I also feel like if you have, I know Wolverine did the thing where it was all black and white and no advertisements at all. That was awesome. Or if you could have all the advertisements either at the end or at the beginning so it doesn't pull you out, that would be amazing.
I do feel like it's a necessary evil, and I've gotten to the point where I skip over it with my eyes most of the time. Mm-hmm. But then sometimes you have advertisers putting in comic panel types of advertisements, and sometimes it is very confusing depending on the type of book, which is very annoying. I feel like you're paying $3 or $4 for a book. Why do I need to see ads at the same time? Or that many ads? And in particular with a big event book where you get 22 pages and then half of those are ads, it's upsetting and it's annoying and it's a waste of my time and a waste of my money. Yeah. That being said, it is necessary and it is evil. Is it a necessary evil? I don't think so.
Oh, wow. I wish there was a way we could get rid of it and not have to deal with it. But if they jack up the prices anymore, then, bring it back.
All right. John says, hi, big fan of the show from the Philippines. What do you guys think of Robert Kirkman's recently released mission statement? Should Marvel and DC focus more on doing all ages content while other publishers focus more on adult themes? I know that's not the only point he made, but I'd be interested in knowing your views on several points as a whole. In case you didn't see this on another website, Robert Kirkman put up a video now that he's working on Image saying, if you have a choice, writers, if you have a choice between writing Spider-Man and you have a choice between writing your own stuff, you're always going to write Spider-Man. Look, here's the first thing about this video. Kirkman clearly was saying it to create a dialogue across the board.
I think he's trying to pick a fight.
That's, I think, essentially the same thing, that he's saying it to create a reaction in people. So that's going on. But that being said, let's talk about this point. What do you think? Should Marvel and DC only do all ages stuff and everybody else get to do the adult stuff?
No, no. I don't agree with that. Just because, the problem is, it's like if you grow up reading Spider-Man and you get into comics and then you get good enough where they say, hey, would you like to write Spider-Man? It's a dream come true. Of course you're going to want to write Spider-Man. That's the reason you got into it. I understand his point of be your own thing and be creative and don't sell out. But at the same time, it's I don't think you should sell out, but I feel like if you have a love for Spider-Man, the person who has that love is going to be the best writer for it. You know what I mean?
I think at the end of the day, what's going on right now is there's not a lot of art happening in mainstream comic books is the thing. You look at, we want to be hypercritical because it is mainstream and people don't like mainstream, they like the indie better. Yeah. But end of the day, look at what are the things that mean the most to us when we think of comics. It's, if you're a little bit older, it's Gwen Stacy dying in Spider-Man. It's things like Superman dying, Batman getting his back broken. Yeah. For me, I mentioned this a million times, Cypher getting killed. That was in a mainstream superhero comic book that was for all ages, but it's a kid getting shot with a gun. It's a really adult theme, and that affected me on such an emotional level. And we all have moments like that. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think if anything, it should be the opposite. I think allow Marvel and DC to embrace more adult books and more adult themes rather than people in tights pumping each other.
Wow.
Pumping and punching each other, both
Wow.
of those.
Wow.
Uncanny X-Men 501. First couple of pages were Emma Frost and Scott
There
Summers.
was the first couple of pages in there a little bit, but it's just like, why?
Yeah, them talking about like men that can't stop having sex, and she's wearing like a sexy.
And then they're wasting panels talking about how much her negligee costs. Like, who? Shut up!
What
you know,
it is,
fight crime
is-
or do something. You know
the
what
problem,
I mean? Like,
the problem is it doesn't need to be all ages. It's just if it's adult, it actually has to be adult, not writing for teenage boys.
yeah. I also think Cartman makes a good point of saying, like, you know, like, don't try to be. If you're mainstream, pick, you know, what you're gonna do. Like in that book specifically, don't like try to please everybody. Have a little TNA, have a little action. You know, like really do what you want to do with the book. You know, don't try to please everybody. I mean, that's really. If you want to write something that's hard and graphic, do that. If you want to write something that's a little bit more for everybody, then do that. But don't like waste my time with stupid, you know, like, oh, we're doing this now, and hey, we should go shopping later.
You know, this is interesting pursuant to the discussion we had last week where you were like, I can't imagine making up voices for my comic book character.
Oh, here it is.
I'm just saying. All right, let's move on. Dave from Ireland writes, are there any comic book titles out there you've never had any interest in, no matter what awesome team came on board? Example would be that I personally have never been into Fantastic Four, even if a great team like Hitch and Millar worked on it. Some things will never change in a book, no matter who works on it. Do you stick by your convictions, or do you get suckered into a title by a comic company's enticement for a good creative team?
Yeah, that's the rub. I mean, the problem is if you really love a writer and what he's doing, and then he jumps on another project that maybe you're not a big a fan of, but you're a big fan of his writing style, you know, you tend to be like, oh, should I? I don't know. I don't want to get involved in a whole nother comic and a whole nother thing. But it's hard because I feel like, you know, I'm not a big fan of the Green Lantern. I know that's upset some people, and I don't care if Cypher gets shot or whatever happens to him, you know, or whatever, you know, Thesaurus guy that you love. I just feel that
The Thesaurus guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I just feel like if you know you should pick your battles and pick something that you believe in, but at the same time you don't want to be closed-minded. There's good stuff out there.
There are no bad characters, only bad stories. Pretty much across the board.
No.
No. What I'm saying is, you could take any character and you put a good writer who has a good idea how to use the character on that title, and they can make it a good story.
Yeah, but I think what Nick,
No, but seriously, like you could write a good Paste Pot Pete story. Nobody wants to read.
I think what Dave is saying though, it doesn't matter who's involved. If it's Fantastic Four, you know, he's not going to be into it because he doesn't like the Fantastic Four.
But again, I think they could find an interesting way of telling a Fantastic Four story.
Yes, they can, and that's what makes them great writers. But I feel like, you know, if you're not into it, you're not into it. So don't.
I guess what we're saying is, yes, I get suckered, and no, you don't get suckered.
I sometimes get suckered, but I don't like to be
Okay,
suckered.
well, there you go. Thank you guys again so much for writing in. Please check us out, youtube.com/comicbookclub. Subscribe, tell your friends. Also, you can write us at thecomicbookclub@yahoo.com. And if you're ever in New York City, you can visit us every Tuesday night at our live show at 8 p.m.
It's a great show. You should come down and visit.
We'll see you guys next time.